This podcast is a member of the Place to Be Nation family. Visit us at placetobenation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
Songs with. Songs with. Songs with. Songs with. Songs with.
Place to Be Nation, welcome to episode 29 of Songs with Friends here on the Place to Be Nation pop feed. My name is Steve, and joining me once again is Kelly. Kelly, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Hugo has done his business, so he's chill. I've done my business, so I'm chill. And we're just watching some 2008 Ring of Honor as we talk about songs with our good friend Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you may or may not know, listeners of the show, what we do here is we each pick a song, we break down the lyrics, we maybe talk about the backstory, or maybe we'll just entertain ourselves and hopefully you. This week we will start with my selection. This is from the 2003 album, No Shoes, No Shirt, No Problem. This is The Good Stuff by Kenny Chesney. Now, you may be asking me why I picked Kenny Chesney, and I really don't have a solid answer for you kids.
You shocked me. I know that. I was really surprised, to be honest. I was like, what?
I'm not really a country music guy. I heard this song frequently back when it was new. A few weeks back, somebody that we follow on Twitter made some random comment. Like, they tagged Kenny Chesney. I was like, hey, Kenny Chesney, have you ever saw a glass of milk and just thought, hey, I'll have some of that?
Oh, my God.
It popped me so big. It was such a random thing, 16 years later now, that it's stuck in my mind. And I was in a little bit of a country mind frame last time. I decided, what the hell, let's do the good stuff.
You pick more country songs than I do. I'll tell you that.
I have. I've been on a little bit of a kick lately.
This song is 16 years old?
2003, yes.
Oh, God, I feel old. Wow.
Well, in watching the video today, after listening to the song just way too much the last 2 weeks, it was a slightly different mix in the video. And it bothers me when people do that. I don't know why. I see it as like fraudulent behavior.
Such a stickler.
Well, I call this the Jewel effect. Jewel had a whole album full of songs that sounded nothing like they did on MTV.
Yeah.
And it has bugged the shit out of me. Like, this is false advertising. You listen to these songs on the radio and they bop. And then you hear the CD version, you're like, this is kind of middling horseshit. What is going on here? So, Pieces of You is not a good album. Don't do that, kids. Go with the Jewel Greatest Hits if you have to have some Jewel in your life.
So, are you like a fan of Kenny Chesney or no? Like this, you don't know a lot of his music.
No, I'm familiar with this, and I think it was the single before it. Young, it might be called, with their rock and roll T-shirts and their typically bad attitudes.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, that was my introduction to Kenny Chesney. And then I know the No Shirt, No Shoes, No Problem song, which is just fucking horseshit. And I know he did a song with Uncle Kracker.
Yes.
Which is when I jumped off the Uncle Kracker bandwagon.
Well, obviously, I mean, you seem like you like country more than I do. I don't think that's actually true, though. But I had a thing about Kenny Chesney, so I have seen him in concert a couple of times.
You are attracted to short men with tank tops. It's okay.
And yeah, he's short, but when he's on stage, he's 6'2". No, he's very talented live, which is something that I always appreciate when I go see someone live, and I'm like, wow, they can actually sing. And he is he's a talented man, and he actually can sing. So he has a lot of stage presence, and he's fun too. But I have seen him a couple of times years ago, probably back in that time frame, early 2000s. I can't remember now, but
yeah, I work with a woman in her 50s from New York, and she moved to this area being Kentucky, for those of you who may not know me, around 1995, and she had never listened to country music prior to that. And her husband at the time was a fan growing up here. And she said that Kenny Chesney was one of the few acts she appreciated, because at the very least, he wasn't walking around dressed like a damn cowboy all the time, looking like a stupid asshole.
Yeah, no, he has on like flip-flop. I mean, yeah, he's just like a beach bum almost, So
she thought that was a layer of authenticity that the George Straits of the world were missing.
yeah, I could see that. I have an aunt that has seen him plenty of times, and she always posts like pictures of it, and it seems to be like he is just like tank top, cargo shorts, and flip-flops. He's like really a whatever attitude. So
You got to show off the guns, brother. I get it.
Yeah, he's got to, because he's short. He's showing off his other.
I work with another fella who subscribes to that theory. He sculpts his guns every day, so every time he's not at work, he is in skin-tight jeans, and just those arms are got to be showing. Sometimes the nipples showing too. He's a brave one.
Is he? He's short?
Oh yeah, he's about 5'5".
Whoa.
Hanging out at the fucking food court at the mall, showing off the guns.
Amazing.
All right, so let's set the scene here. Kenny Chesney singing from the perspective of a young married fella. Says, well, me and my old lady had our first big fight, so I drove around till I saw the neon light of the corner bar. It just seemed right, so I pulled up. All right, this isn't a good omen for his marriage. He's going to fight. He's just driving around angry and aimlessly. It says, you know what? I'm angry. I'm behind the wheel. Let's get drunk.
Yeah. Well, it's probably a small town. It's totally acceptable. That's not a good idea.
No,
but it's common, I think. Don't you?
I have never gone to the bar after a domestic dispute.
I have not either. I guess I just think people do that from movies and songs.
Yeah, I think of Dr. Doback from Step Brothers, how he goes to the Cheesecake Factory to get drunk.
Yeah, that might be something I would do. Just
Not a soul around but the old barkeep, down at the end looking half asleep. But he walked up and said, what'll it be? I said the good stuff. Dear listeners, I encourage you, please report back to us at PTBN_songs on Twitter. Go to your local neighborhood watering hole and just walk right up to the bar and ask for the good stuff. And I want to see what happens. Please tell us what that bartender brings you, or if he just looks at you like you're a fucking idiot.
This is interesting because depending on where you're at in the country, you might get a different, response.
Yes, and Kenny got a response he wasn't ready for. Because he didn't reach around for the whiskey. He didn't pour me a beer. His blue eyes kind of went misty. He said, you can't find that here. So he encounters this old man at the bar. Assuming they don't know each other, which is, if it's a small town, I'm going to go ahead and debunk that theory. Because you would think he would have been to this bar at some point in his life and he would know who this bartender was. Mm-hmm. So the guy's kind of in a daze, half asleep. He realizes there's someone at the bar, decides to serve him. And when the guy asks for the good stuff, he's like, well, fuck, man. I can't help you.
Why are you working at a bar?
Oh, that question's coming back later. I've got all kinds of questions for this old barkeep.
Oh, shit.
So anything you want to contribute to where we're at right now?
No, it's a good point. Like, you're going to the bar, and I feel like if I was a bartender or a server, it's how you make money. You would encourage drinking, maybe not to the extent that you're, putting them in. But why would you discourage someone from drinking if you work in a bar? It's kind of weird.
Now, as we're going to learn later in the song,
sorry.
This bartender has some dark secrets, and maybe he's trying to dissuade young Mr. Chesney from following down his path.
Yeah, that could be.
All right, he said, you can't find that here, and then he just starts belting out. Because this is the first long kiss on a second date. Mama's all worried when you get home late. And dropping the ring in the spaghetti plate because your hands are shaking so much. All right. Kelly, I know you haven't dated many in your lifetime. Is a second date kiss, is that standard procedure where you're from?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm a first date kiss kind of guy.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I mean, it's a date. We both know why we're here. If there was no romantic intention, if I'm leaving the date on a handshake and a how about it, pal, I'm just assuming I'm not going to see her again.
Yeah. I mean, I think it depends on an age, I guess, but I think like the first time I went on like a date, I was young, and I know I didn't kiss him, but I mean, I think it was like in 8th grade or something. You know what I mean? But after that, yeah, that seems a little. It didn't go that way.
All right, and if you were in a situation where it got serious, I'm assuming we're skipping some timeline here because we go right from a second date to a proposal.
Yeah, that's how I got her to marry him, I guess.
By taking her out to a spaghetti dinner. You can make spaghetti at home.
Stop. Yeah, you got to go to something like real fancy.
Yeah, if you're hoping this is going to last for the rest of your life, then by all means, don't take her to the Olive Garden.
Well, it is very weird. I think sometimes guys don't know what to do. Like some people like a public display kind of thing. Some people would feel uncomfortable with that, so that's got to be kind of nerve-wracking anyways to figure it out. But this reminds me of those people that like they propose by water and then somehow like lose the ring, or like on a bridge, or have you ever seen any of those? It's like they drop the ring and now it's like in the lake.
Yes, it's terribly poor planning.
Yes. And I guess it is. I always wonder about that, like guys feeling really nervous about that, because I feel like if you're asking somebody, like you would have assumed that they're kind of on that same page, but it seems like it's still a nerve-wracking. I don't know. I've never done it, but it seems like it'd still be nerve-wracking.
Yeah, pro tip, keep the ring in the box until it's time to actually slide it on her finger.
There you go.
Don't just have a loose ring that you're fumbling around with your fingertips. Next thing you know, it's in the sewer grate or the bowl of meat sauce.
Yeah, I mean, there's just like bad situations where they lose a ring, and I mean, some people spend a lot of money on this jewelry, and it's like, holy hell. Now,
I just want to clarify: I'm not saying you have to go to a dinner type situation, but if you choose to do it at a restaurant, if that's your approach, by all means, make it noteworthy. Don't
surf and turf.
Don't do it at the damn food court.
Oh fuck!
All right. And it's the way that she looks. Now, Google has failed us here. And it's the way that she looks with the rice in her hair is the lyric.
What did Google say?
With her eyes in her hair.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, I never use the Google, so okay.
Yeah, it has led me astray here. Eating burnt suppers the whole first year and asking for seconds to keep her from tearing up. Yeah, man, that's the good stuff. So eating burn food for an entire year while this woman gets her shit together.
You know what, though? This made me think, like, when I was young, you don't know, like, my parents cooked, and I guess I didn't probably take as much time to, like, cook with them as I try to get my daughter to be a little more like that. But I was, like, really excited. I was like, I'm going to make a roast. And like, I had no idea like how to make a roast, but I assumed at my 19, 20 years old that like, if you took a roast and just put like really good veggies in there and like put it in a slow cooker, it would taste good. And it, obviously didn't put any seasoning in there because I didn't know what I was doing. And it was not good. So, but it got eaten. So I guess it's one of those things where you have to learn how to cook sometimes. A year seems a little excessive, but
yeah, I don't mind.
There's some trial and error where you're like, I made that. It wasn't so good. Let's not have it again.
Yeah. A burnt dinner every once in a while, not so bad. Every single night for a year. I mean, he's got to be wondering what he got himself into.
He was in love. In love.
And it's just two of them. She's cooking enough to where they have multiple portions every time.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what kind of job young Mr. Chesney was doing. But enough to where they made their food last. God bless them.
Yeah, a year seems long, but here we go.
Now, I did like this, and it's the way that she looks with the rice in her hair. That's a good little snapshot memory. You do want to remember those special kind of moments. So I don't want to dunk on Mr. Chesney entirely here.
I don't think you're allowed to, for people that are younger, I don't even know if they realize, but because I don't think people do this anymore at weddings. Like, I think it's because the birds can eat the rice and die. Have you heard that before?
I have.
Yeah, so I don't know that. I haven't been to a wedding in a long time where I've seen them throw the rice. I've seen more like bubbles.
Must say it's a bubble kind of occasion.
Yeah, it's like real weird. So I don't know. But yeah, I get that reference. I'd be curious if like a 20-year-old would get that reference, you know?
Now, oftentimes newlyweds are broke because they just paid some stupid amount of money for this wedding. So I encourage you, next time you go to a wedding, make it rain. Throw dollar bills at those people. They'll appreciate it.
Yeah. Make it rain. Yes.
All right, so then we get back to the bartender. He grabbed a carton of milk and he poured a glass. Al smiled and said, I'll have some of that. All right, so the dude just pulls a carton of milk. If you ever see a carton of milk at a bar, just fucking run.
Yeah, leave.
There's no good happening there. That is serial killer behavior. We sat there and talked as an hour passed like old friends. So, all right, I have questions here. First off, how much did he pay you for the glass of milk? Like, did the bartender charge him, or are they friends now? Was this one on the house?
I don't think he knew him. Now it's saying like we're old friends. So they probably didn't know each other. We know that.
Right.
I bet it was free.
I mean, the old dude's been there all afternoon. Nobody's coming to see him. He gets his first customer, and this guy's not even going to drink his beer. He's going to drink his personal selection of milk. The guy keeps a half gallon of vitamin D behind the bar at all times in case he gets a little thirsty. And now he's having to share with this sucker who just had his first big fight with his wife.
Well, you know, it's so you do want to teach, not a bartender, you would think, but you do want to teach people like, hey, really not the solution when you're fighting with your spouse is run off and drink. So he's trying to, you know, teach him a lesson.
All right, we sat there and talked as an hour passed like old friends. I saw a black and white picture and it caught my stare. It was a pretty girl with bouffant hair. He said, that's my Bonnie. Taken about a year after we were wed. He said, I spent 5 years in the bar when the cancer took her from me. Like, this song takes a fucking turn.
Oh, I thought it used to say, I really thought it said bottle. But anyways, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but I've been sober 3 years now because the one thing's stronger than the whiskey. All right, so we've established that the old man was married. He's now a widower, I think is the proper way to say that. Mm-hmm. His wife has been dead for 8 years. He spent 5 of those years as a raging alcoholic and then decided to open a bar.
Yeah, that's a bizarre turn of events.
I mean, it's not completely unheard of. Sam Malone from Cheers did it, but he was using it as a trick to get laid.
Jeez.
I wonder if the old man is working the same angle.
He's trying to find him a new wife.
He keeps a picture of the old wife behind the bar as like
sob story,
as a conversation piece. It's like, yeah, you know, I loved her a lot. I was drunk for 5 years, and I'm sober for 3. What do you say we go back to your place and we talk about it?
That's so sad. It makes me feel sad.
Hey, I'm not the one who told this dirty old man to have a lure behind his bar, okay?
Yeah, that is just such a weird... We need to interview this man. Who wrote this song? No, we need to find him.
It was not Kenny Chesney. It was Craig Michael Wiseman and Jim Collins.
Yeah, I'm not sure that Kenny Chesney's one on writing music is so much. Yeah, this is interesting.
Do you have anything you want to contribute to that segment?
No, I mean, it's like, I feel like it's going to be depressing. No, like I made me think like when my mom died, that's how my dad was. Like, he'd be drunk all the time. Like, I was so worried. Like, I'd go to his house all the time because he didn't live close, but I went like every weekend that I could. And I just was like, oh my God, like making sure his house was clean and like his laundry was done. But it was not years. You know what I mean? It was, I don't know, maybe a few months or something. And then I was like, Dad, okay, you have to go do something, you know, but it's like you want it, but I couldn't imagine, like on a serious side, like his children, that'd be really hard to watch for me for 5 years. You know what I mean? I was just like, so it kind of made me think of that. And I was like, well, I just had like a few months of that. And I thought it was a pretty downer situation. So
yeah, 5 years is a hell of a run to be hitting it like that.
Yeah.
And thankful for this theoretical old fella that he made it out of that alive.
Yes.
And then decided just to keep his toes in the water and open up that bar just in case he wants to fall off the wagon. It's right there.
Keep your enemies closer. I guess. I don't know. That's weird.
And now that Kenny's drinking his milk, he's more likely to fall off the wagon. He's going to reach for his old friend there, fucking vitamin D. And it's not going to be there. Because old Tank Top Kenny had to get his nutrition in.
Oh, man.
All right, the one thing stronger than the whiskey, and then he rattles off like 6 things here, was the sight of her holding my baby girl. The way she adored that string of pearls. I gave her the day that our youngest boy, Earl, married his high school love. What a combination of things there.
Yeah.
All right, so we've established this guy has at least 2 kids.
Yeah.
A baby girl and a youngest boy named Earl. Because everyone names their child Earl.
Yeah.
And not only that, but he saw it fit to either give his wife jewelry on the son's wedding day. Mm-hmm. Or perhaps another type of pearl necklace. I don't know. I won't.
Oh, my gosh.
I won't speculate.
Yes, you will.
And it's a new T-shirt saying, I'm a grandpa. Being right there as her time got small and holding her hand when the good Lord called her up. Yeah, man, that's the good stuff. So, yeah, he has gone through a whole life cycle here with this complete stranger who came in to get drunk and is now drinking milk in just a captive audience.
He's really laying out.
Like, neither one of these fellas thought their day was going to end like this.
No, he certainly did it. Certainly did it.
Or if you meet somebody and within an hour you get all this information, something's not right.
Yeah. Well, he has no one to talk to.
He's got his baby girl and his youngest boy, Earl. And Earl's high school love.
They've heard enough of his shit. Just kidding.
Maybe they walked away during the 5 years.
That could be it, too.
They did not go to the Al-Anon meetings, so they did not learn about the understanding of healing and the importance of such.
Yes, maybe they did walk away. But he does have a grandpa T-shirt, so I'm sure that, he must see the grandkids.
Grandkid gets to see Pop for all the major holidays. They bond over milk and cookies.
Well, I feel like I'm being such a downer this episode, but I did like, and this probably sound weird to people that haven't experienced this, but when he talks about like being with her when she died or whatever at the end, I feel like, like when my mom died, I didn't get to really be with her, and it was weird. Like, I think I had a harder time accepting it, but like when my dad died, I guess it was over like 4 or 5 days, but literally like got to be there with him at the end. And I don't know, it sounds really weird. Maybe, I don't know if I ever say this to anybody, but it was actually like very beautiful, like, because it was like, I don't know, it was just different than someone just being gone and just getting to sit with them. And like, I feel like it was just like a life-changing thing for me. So, I mean, I could see his view on that is like, some people probably think that's, I don't know, maybe morbid or awkward, but I found it to be like something that I'm like, that gives me like comfort in a weird way. So I could relate to that part of the song a little bit. So.
Yeah, absolutely. When you know things are at their end, that time becomes so much more precious. So, that's I wasn't even going to mention that for, the tone of what I've been doing here isn't meant to be so serious.
I know.
So I wasn't going to make...
It's going to be like, thanks, Kelly.
No, I wasn't going to make fun of that because that is actually very poignant.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I could say, I don't think most people, like, I've never seen somebody like die or dying, I mean, over a day's time or whatever. And it was actually not it was different than I expected. Maybe because it was someone I really loved and it wasn't like a stranger, but it was like when someone's in pain and you've seen them go through cancer or whatever it is, you kind of find like a comfort for them, like their pain's going away. And I think that's part of it too, but it's hard. It's obviously hard to watch, but then in the end, I felt like it was like, I'm glad I was there. It was like my dad and then his wife and my niece and my daughter was there. And like, I don't know, she wanted to be a part of that. And I was a little bit hesitant about it, but she still is like, I'm so glad I was there. And I was like, well, I was like, maybe that wasn't a good mom move, but I think it gave her like closure about, for her too. So it's pretty interesting. So.
Absolutely. Kids and the the way they process those things kind of fascinates me because they're all at different stages, and even at the same age, they're not all going to process it the same. So helping them learn how to navigate that, I think, is valuable.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so then now the bartender's calling the shots.
He's telling him.
He said, when you get home, she'll start to cry. When she says, I'm sorry, say, so am I. Look into those eyes so deep in love and drink it up, because that's the good stuff. I don't think it's going to go down like this, because they separated in a fit of rage. He was so angry he just had to drive to the bar. He's been gone for an hour. She's going to come back, and she's going to be like, where the fuck have you been?
Start a whole other fight.
He's going to be like, look, I was at the bar with an old man drinking milk while he told me about his dead wife and his alcoholic past.
She's like, you fucking liar.
She's like, the fuck you are? Who is she? Who's the bitch? And he's going to go right back into that bar and say, give me a Seagram 7 and 7-Up.
That's the good stuff, Drake.
Don't tell me your fucking story again. Just get me drunk. I'm going to the courthouse in the morning. We're done. Because I'm going to divorce her before I have to eat a single burnt supper.
How long have they been married? He said they had their first big fight.
Says, thank you for making these sacrifices, sir, so I didn't have to. Thank you for your wisdom. Screw you guys, I'm going home.
I'm going to say this. I really thought in this song at some point you were going to turn the good stuff into something sexual.
No, he's talking to an old man. I don't think about an old man getting it in.
I know. I just saying. I thought you were going to bring that up. Something nasty.
No,
not nasty, but I'm really proud about that. Actually, I thought you would somehow turn the good stuff in the milk into a relation of something sexual. That was my thought that you were going to do with this song.
No, that's the sequel, which was never released, about the makeup sex.
Yes, that might have been when he got home. Once they made up. Oh shit!
Is there anything else you would to add before we close this part out?
No, I think I'm good. I'm good.
All right, and speaking of more good stuff, let's have a quick word with our good friends JT and Chad, and then come back to talk about more songs with friends.
Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Place to Be Nations, JT Rosero and Chad Campbell here. We want to let you know that we have over 24 podcasts available on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and PlaceToBeNation.com. We now offer them to you on two great feeds. On the Place to Be Nation Wrestling feed, we dive into topics running the gamut from today's WWE to the glory days of yesteryear and the ins and outs of the territory days. In addition to our full-length shows, we also deliver to you special pod blasts on topics old and new.
The Place to Be Nation Pop feed is a veritable treasure trove of great content. Offered tremendous shows covering the land of movies, television, life, comics, and sports, brought to you by the most knowledgeable and insightful folks in the podcast world.
You can find all of these current shows, plus archives of our previous podcasts from over the past 8 years as well, by subscribing to our feeds on iTunes. And while there, be sure to rate and leave feedback as well. All of these shows, plus others available at PlayStation.com, where we cover pro wrestling, sports, movies, comics, plus in-depth stretch projects and more. Be sure to support our site by using www.PlayStationNation.com/Amazon while doing your online shopping. And be sure to join us at our forum at Bigelow34.proboards.com for all sorts of wrestling, sports, and pop culture discussion each and every day, where you can make your voice heard. We also want to thank our friends at Bonehead's Wing Bar, ProWrestlingOnly.com, and TheHistoryOfWrestling.com. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr as well. PlayStation.com, the only place to be in your pop culture world.
And welcome back to the second half of Songs with Friends. Now let's talk about some of the other shows on the Place to Be Nation Pop feed. In the series finale of DC Post-Crisis Management, Russell Sellers and guest Todd Weber take a look at Heroes in Crisis and complete Russell's journey. Russell and Todd then announced the debut of their new podcast, DC for You. In the first episode of this weekly show, the guys kick off celebrating the anniversaries of Batman and Batman 89. The Hard Traveling Fanboys wrap up Avengers Month with a farewell to the Hard Travelers for Hire series in this giant-sized edition, complete with an all-star panel and a comprehensive ranking of the Marvel Universe movies. In the newest Talkin' Pop, Jenny and Tim ride guests free as they talk about summer memories. And the NBA team is back with Gone Fishing Part 2 as Adam and Andrew go west. And in the second episode of PTB and E-Ticket, Attraction finds host Jason Sherman, hopefully not on his deck or on a boat this time, a guest Andy Atherton, Neil Trauma, and Chad Campbell talking everything Epcot. Be sure to keep an eye on our social media feeds as the reboot of the Greatest Song of the 80s tournament is starting soon. And that's starting real soon, guys. Keep an eye on that. And again, don't you hack it.
We're going to kill people. Just kidding.
That was Kelly this time. Steve not endorsing the killing of anyone or anyone's mother.
Just kidding. Nah.
And over on the wrestling feed on the Place to Be podcast, Justin Scott and John D'Amato wrap up the summer with a hot review of SummerSlam 89. On a new Talkin' WCW, Jenny, Tim, and Greg discuss a trio of matches featuring the Natural, Dustin Rhodes. In the 7th episode of Row 1 Seat 1, Ben Zani welcomes Southern Underground Pro promoter and professional wrestler Kevin Koo. You get a look behind the scenes at their latest event. Guys, if you have IndependentWrestling.tv, watch that latest SUP show. A fantastic main event. Tag team brawl with Cabana Man Dan, which is a silly name but a fantastic wrestler, and All Elite Wrestling's Marco Stunt, as they take on Violence is Forever, Kevin Koo and Dominic Greeny. Just a wild shit show of a match. A gif of that's been going around Twitter of Cabana Man Dan getting hit in the fucking head with a ring bell hard as shit.
Oh my gosh.
Busting him open hard way. It got out of hand fast. And finally, Scott Criscolo, Nate Milton, and Steve Willie recap Double or Nothing and the classic TNA on the newest edition of Main Event. On PlaceToBeNation.com, check out the newest Draft Wars, in which PTB and staff members drafted takeover matches. Pick the best roster and vote for your favorite. Also available on the site is the latest installment of PTBN's excellent WWE Network adventure, with an in-depth look at Mid-South Wrestling from May 26, 1984. Excuse me. Check out our social media pages and message board at bigelow34.proboards.com for information on joining our GWWE pay-per-view and TV Match Ever project. Get in on the conversation today and start researching your list. Another quick note on that Row 1 Seat 1. Ben is fairly new to podcasting. This is his first series, and he has done an amazing job with it. So if you haven't done so, I encourage checking that out. He's got people from wrestling, people from music, just all kinds of different stories to be told on that show. So by all means, check it out over on the wrestling feed. And now we kick it over to Kelly's pick.
I have a wrestling question.
Oh,
It's really not that exciting, actually.
Go ahead.
I probably could ask you this later. So, like, when you say I saw someone tweet something about this today, and I was like, I didn't know. Like, indie wrestling, it shouldn't be INDY, it should be INDIE.
The accepted spelling is INDIE. And
okay.
A good way to remember that, I don't know why that's just the rule, but it is, but INDY is a shorthand for Indianapolis.
To people that are familiar with that area.
Yes. INDIE is indie, like the indies, like indie wrestling.
Okay. That's not really a wrestling question, I guess. But...
No, it's more of a wrestling Twitter question.
Yes.
And speaking of, one thing I did not plug, I returned with a new Making Towns with Friends, even though I did not have a friend with me on this journey, as I did a solo podcast talking about my time training in Ohio Valley Wrestling back in 2006 and 2007, so check that out on the wrestling feed as well. So now let's kick it over to Kelly's pick. This is from the 1998 album Sunburn. This is Shimmer by Fuel. Kelly, why did you pick it?
Oh, I don't really have like a good reason. I just always like this song. Like, and actually what brought it up is I saw someone on Twitter recently saying how much they like this song. I should have found the tweet, but like feel like they shouldn't, but they, recently listened to it all the time. And this is like a song I listen to often. Like it's something that I regularly listen to in my shower. I'm one of those weird people. I have like a shower playlist, and I have but anyways, I don't know. I just like this song. Oh,
this song is good. I remember the first time I listened to it. It was a little bit later, probably 2000, maybe early 2001. In my room late at night, listening to the radio, and this song came on, and I just got really intensely focused on it.
Yeah.
It was during my post-breakup sad boy phase.
I was going to say, was it Sad Boy Steve?
It was. And like, holy
Well,
shit, all that shimmers is not gold. He's right.
Well, and it's that thing, like, this song was big when I was, like, a senior in high school. And I think some of the music that I really do, like, love and go back to listen to a lot is stuff from when I was, like, 14 to 18 or 20. You know, like, I will play that music, like, over and over. And so it was just popular. I know it was popular, too, but I loved it. Sad Boy. Yeah, I liked a lot of sad and depressing music. I still do. All right. So you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. All right. So we got, she calls me from the cold just when I was low, feeling short of stable. I'm going to just do that part. So, I mean, obviously this is a chick that, when she's coming back when probably whatever I'm assuming they're a couple, and now that, she wants him back and he's still feeling low. He's not really in a stable place, obviously. So he's going to pick up that phone call, in my opinion. So what you got?
Can relate. Yeah, like I said, I was in sad boy phase here, but like it was way past when I should have been in the sad boy phase.
Yeah.
I was actually like starting to recover, and we had established contact again.
Oh.
Yes, it was very much, all right, yeah, sure. She calls me from the cold just when I was low, feeling short of stable. I'm like, oh, well, yeah, I'm still sitting here, not crying about you, but sulking. Sure, I'll pick up this phone. We can talk. Yeah.
Well, and last night I was talking to my best friend, and we were talking about, sometimes there's just people that she's more like this than I am. Here I am calling her out on our show, but there's always just like somebody that at different times in your life you'll take all their bullshit. Like, it doesn't matter. They do something and you're like, they call. Okay, I'm gonna, I'm a little less of a forgiving person, but anyways, that's and I think that's, especially when you're still feeling down about something you haven't quite healed or whatever, it's like, well, maybe, and you'll take that phone call. So and so then he has all that she intends and all she keeps inside isn't on the label. So to me it's like he knows her intentions are not being true. Like, she's like, I'm calling you, but, I think he knows this is going to fail, but she might be smooth talking to him or whatever, and he's falling for it. I don't know.
See, as an 18-year-old getting this call, it was a similar revelation, only I knew the intentions were impure, and I was all in.
Like, I'm going to get laid tonight.
No, not that night, but I knew it would be very soon. It's just, like, I have a boyfriend, but I've been worried about you, just making sure you're okay. And then the conversations were lasting a little too long,
Oh, so this was like, I'm seeing someone else, but I'm checking on you.
Yes.
Kind of call. Interesting. Yeah, then you definitely know there's a chance.
So you're saying there's a chance?
Yeah. Steve, we could write a book on your first relationship.
Yeah, it would be an interesting book.
A movie. Oh my gosh, we can make a movie.
Not so interesting of a movie because I think a lot of us have had little petty relationship issues like I had in my youth.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
And I would not dare compete with my new favorite rom-com, Always Be My Maybe, available on Netflix, which I recommend to all of the listeners.
Oh my gosh, amazing. It's great. I'm so glad you found a rom-com you like.
The Asian Americans came through to me when no one else would.
I know. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm so glad you watched it. So then I watched it. Okay, so then we have, she says she's ashamed, and can she take me for a while? Is that how yours says? It just sounds weird.
That's what it says, but I always thought it was, can she take me for a walk?
Me too. That's what I always sang. That's what I've been singing forever. So that's why I was like, well, and can I be a friend? We'll forget the past, but maybe I'm not able, and I break at the bend. So, I don't know. I mean, who knows what happened? She left him, this could have been like when your girlfriend left you for the cowboy kind of thing. No, it's just coming back. I don't know. Whatever she did, maybe she's feeling like bad about it. I'm going to come back. But I think really what it is a lot of times with people is like, you just go back to what's comfortable, or what you know. And there is comfort in someone that knows you well and you feel like they'll take your phone call. And, I think you've been on the other side of this kind of person, I'm sure, in your life. Ooh, sorry. Right? Have you ever been on the side of the woman? No?
Doing the old rebound call?
Yes.
I have not.
Don't stop it. Are you serious?
No, if it's over, it's over. I mean, there have been times when salvaging the relationship, and I have definitely been the one putting myself out there.
Yeah.
No, I've been more the guy here getting that call. And I found this really relatable. Maybe I'm not able. Where she's reaching out. Maybe the intentions are pure. She just wants to be a friend. But now he's so hurt. Like, even if the intention was not to hurt.
Yeah.
He still can't get over this thought. It's like the dude in Forgetting Sarah Marshall. When he's freaking out. Just alone in his apartment. And his buddy's asking him, why are you still like this? He's like, well, she's fucking somebody. I know she is. And he just can't get it out of his head.
Yeah. So,
it's just knowing that. Just visualizing that will get you all fucked up and not in a good place.
And I'm like,
so he breaks at the bend.
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like I'm opposite. Like, if I think someone's doing that, I'm like, good riddance. But that's just how we're all different. You know what I mean? It's like, that would make me not want to be with someone as much. But I think with a lot of people, that jealousy or whatever it is that kicks in gets them like, sets them on wildfire. I feel like that's a guy thing for sure.
Well, maybe, if you wanted to be in the relationship and they dumped you and moved on really quickly, they could, they still want you, but now you don't even want them. You're with someone else. And, it's a mess.
It's a mess.
Just a mess.
Yeah. All right. So you good there?
I'm good.
Okay. So I have to say, some of these lyrics I've been singing wrong. So anyways, we're here and now. Will we ever be again? Because I have found all that shimmers in this world is sure to fade away again. And I mean, I think it, obviously he said, you're here. When will it end again? You just know, like, it's the inevitable. I can't relate to this a lot because I'm not that kind of person. It's like, I'm like in your mentality. It's like, when it's done, So I don't get people who break up makeup on a constant level. It's just not for me. But my favorite part of the song is the all that shimmers in this world is sure to fade away again. And it's probably very cynical, but I think it's the truth oftentimes. I guess like the realist in me thinks that's just not just in love, but in life. Like, it just feels like anything that's so great at one point will fade away. I don't know. I just always, that line is like probably the whole reason that I was drawn to this song.
This guy clearly never had a glass of milk with Kenny Chesney's bartender.
Yes. He'll make you find the good in everything.
He will. Even your wife dying and you becoming an alcoholic.
You got anything else?
No, like, I'm right with you on that being a very cynical thing. All that shimmers in this world is sure to fade away. It's like his heart is so broken by a couple on Twitter who I won't call out because I love and respect them both very much. But they broke up a long time ago. And, like, he's still, like, constantly, like, complimenting her, like, in publicly. And something he says about her is that she's shiny. That's his way of saying, I guess, her eyes sparkle. He just says that she's shiny. And, like, she calls him on it all the time. It's like, dude, you keep saying that. We're in public. Like, stop.
Jeez. Well, literally, photo app, like, what is it called? Snapchat makes your eyes shiny.
Yes.
Use the filter.
Like, that's how that's how the dude from Fuel is seeing this woman. She is shiny in his eyes. But knowing that he liked her so much that now, it faded away. So now everyone I love for the rest of my life is also going to fade.
Yeah.
But the secret to keeping that shine and that shimmer is to polish. You gotta do your maintenance. You gotta make sure everything's legit. You can't just buy it pretty one day and never work on it again expect that shimmer to stay. You
Yeah.
got to keep putting that shine on, baby. You got to polish that bitch up. And by bitch, I don't mean woman. I just mean anything in general.
Well, yeah, no, that's anything. That's anything. Yeah. Well, and this is obviously off of, I mean, I think like you could come out of a relationship and feel very scorned and just be like, fuck it, nothing ever's going to work. I try to be like, hey, be grateful like the time you had with someone and what it was. And it's, you know, that's the end. But I mean, there are people who, when like a relationship ends, they're at like wanting to kill themselves and like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, oh my God, like they just feel like it's absolutely the end of the world and like nothing could ever be good again. And hopefully most people get over that in time. I think everybody does most of the time, but it's crazy. Like breakups are hard.
Life changes, man. Life changes.
All right. So then we got She Dreams a Champagne Dream, Strawberry Surprise, Pink Linen and White Paper, Lavender and Cream, Fields of Butterflies, Reality Escapes Her. So, I mean, I don't know, just like she's living in La La Land maybe and just, I don't know, maybe romanticizing what they had or I'm not really sure. This part of that song always just kind of threw me. I just was like, and I didn't know these lyrics either. So.
All right. So the first part is his perspective. Like he's in the breakup period. He's sad. The girl's calling him, but he's not really so sure if he should take the call, that kind of thing. And then you flip to her, and she's all fucking roses and butterflies. Strawberry surprise, pink linens, white papers. I think this is more her recapping kind of how she initially saw the relationship. She dreamed it as this beautiful strawberry surprise.
Yes.
To the point where reality escaped her.
Yeah. Look at you, Steve.
Your boy's on the ball tonight.
You are on his bullshit.
I had my milk.
You had your milk. That's true. From her perspective, that's a good way to look at it. And then it has, she says that love is for fools who fall behind, and I'm somewhere between. I never really know a killer from a savior till I break at the bend. God, how cynical, huh? Love is for fools who fall behind.
Yeah, it's a work. Life is a work. That's what she's telling him.
Yeah.
We can enjoy being around each other, but this love is not real. It's a Hallmark thing. It's kind of how she's looking at things now that they're in that post-breakup melancholy.
Yeah. Well, and it's like for him, he can't. It's like he almost just doesn't know the difference,
yes.
Or whatever he's saying. You know what I mean? And it's like almost like he loves her more. I guess I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. He even says, "And I'm somewhere in between." Like, I love her, but at the same time, clearly I'm being foolish here. And I love this not knowing a killer from a savior. Like he's wanting to trust her, but he doesn't know if it's going to be the thing that saves him or if she's going to stab him right in the heart.
Yeah.
Until he breaks. That's when he gets his answer, when it's too late.
Yeah.
When he is a crumpled up mess, listening to WDJX at fucking 11:30 on a Friday night.
Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do to get over somebody. All right. So then we got, the next part we're here now, that's already, and then it just kind of goes out with, it's too far away for me to hold. He says that a bunch of times and then ends with, guess I'll let it go. So, I mean, I think at that point he's realizing this shit's, he needs to walk away. Just some people just can't, but I feel very much at the end. He's like, let it go. That feels good.
I will go with that.
Yeah. What'd you think of the video?
It was generic as shit. It was so 1998. It was better than the Good Stuff video, which came out later. I was very disappointed in that Kenny Chesney video because there was so much rich imagery in the lyrics. Yes. And none of that was the video. It was all either him and his band just kind of half-assing it or Kenny at the bar with the old dude.
Yeah, yeah.
There was none of this life flashback stuff. But then the Shimmer video is this platinum blonde asshole just being sad boy hours. And I wasn't really with it.
You weren't with it. Yeah. Fair enough. No, it's nothing great. Nothing great, that's for sure. I was just curious if you watched it. Yeah, Kenny's video was pretty lame, and I think at that time frame there was no excuse for that. I mean, I think he was already kind of making a career for himself, and he should have got a better music video.
Because I was already familiar with him by then, based on that Young video.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he absolutely he wasn't over like he'd be with that I think that No Shoes No Shirt song was the big one that really took him into touring all the State Fair stadiums.
Took him out of East Tennessee.
Yeah, took him from the honky tonk to the pontoon boat.
Now he probably has like a private island somewhere,
Oh,
so
I'm
it's
sure.
a good life. Yeah.
All right. So, anything else you want to contribute to fuel Shimmer?
Nope, I'm good.
All right, guys. Some of you may or may not know, we are on PlaceToBeNation.com doing a 1994 stretch project. We're reviewing all things 1994. And for our contribution to this, we decided to do a 1994 themed Songs with Friends episode. So, Kelly, which song from 1994 do you want to review?
Oh my gosh, this is so hard. It's so hard, but I'm gonna go out of my comfort zone a little bit, and I'm gonna go with my Twitter most popular pick that I put out there. So we're gonna do "Regulate" by Warren G and Nate Dogg, right?
Yes.
I know the song. I just, I'm gonna be the first to say I have not dived into these lyrics at all, but I definitely know this song. So.
All right, that was my pick. So now,
I thought you might pick that.
I'm going to log into Twitter on the air and find your thread and look for ideas.
I was trying to go with what the people wanted.
You know what? Fuck it. Stay. I missed you. Lisa Loeb and 9 Stories. That's what we're doing.
Yay!
Because you say I talk so all the time. Fucking so what?
I honestly thought that might be on your list. I was kind of shocked too.
I completely forgot this song came out in 1994, and I sing it to myself so often, I wasn't sure we hadn't already done it.
Honestly, I've had that happen a couple of times. Like, did we already do this song?
Like this afternoon, I was out in the yard humming Losing My Religion, and I thought, let's be a good one for Songs with Friends. I thought, wait a minute, I'm almost certain we've done it.
Oh shit! Yeah, that's amazing.
All right, guys. If you want to follow us on Twitter at PTBN_songs, we love the feedback. DM us, message us, suggest songs. We may not do them because we're jerks, but we just may do them. We've had a couple requests on the show. Also, you can email ptbnsongswithfriends@gmail.com. I would love to do a mailbag episode at one point, but I need actual entries in the mailbox to do that. So you're letting me down, folks. Help me out here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We'll be back. Probably a little bit more of a delay on the next episode. We'll have to see. But for Kelly, I'm Steve, and we will try to do better next time.